Are you having difficulty using your pendulum and formulating questions and getting accurate answers? Hi, my name is Kathy from Kathleen's Natural Balance. Today I'm here just to give you some simple ideas when working with your pendulum. And hopefully these ideas will spark some creativity within you and you can go on your own path of asking questions and getting the answers that you need and getting the assistance you need using a pendulum. So we will assume you've already programmed your pendulum for yeses, for nos, and you understand finding a wavelength. So when working with the pendulum, the most important thing when asking questions is to be clear and concise and specific so that you can receive accurate answers. So say you want to go buy a new car. So you could ask Spirit, is it my highest and greatest good to buy this new car, new sports car, or whatever it is? And you may get the answer yes. But if you rephrase that question to, is it in my highest and greatest good to purchase this new car at this time, so you're putting a time frame in, given my financial situation, you may get a totally different answer than if you just say, hey, is it my highest and greatest good to buy this? Might be yes, but then if you put in right now at this time, given my financial situation, or you may get the answer no, and you can ask another question and say, in 3 months from now, will it be in my highest and greatest good to purchase this property or this home or whatever it is, if it's something big. So let's just say, all right, we'll stay on the house. So you can also ask, is it the path of least resistance for me to purchase a home, a car? And then you can also add to the question, so it might be a good idea to purchase it. Your finances may be good, but will it be a calm setting? Will it be a setting conducive for your work? So you work from home. So you can put these things into your question and get a more accurate answer, because maybe you work from home, maybe you have children, maybe you're retired and you want a quiet community. So maybe the house would be a great purchase, but maybe not given the fact that you want it to be a more quiet and subdued environment. So I hope that helps you to understand how to ask with clarity, adding a time element for the highest and best, and maybe an atmosphere or something that you're looking for. Or maybe you want to ask about someone in your life, like, will this be a good purchase, given my fiance or my children or something along those lines. And so you can get very specific with your questions. And then you can ask long term, would this be a good investment, long term? Maybe it's going to be a short term. So you get really creative with your questions, and you can ask a question, get an answer, reword it, rephrase it. It's okay to do that. And it's also okay to take a question and turn it into a statement. So is it in my highest and greatest good to, blah, blah, blah. Say you did all those questions, and then you can rephrase it and say, it is in my highest and greatest good to purchase this sports car at this time, and then see what you get for an answer. So you can rephrase it into a statement too. Some of my teachers have said that you have to do everything in a statement, and then other teachers no. So I think you have to do what feels right for you. And I think it also depends on the question you're asking, if you're going to turn it from a question to a statement or vice versa. So let's say it's food. You can ask Spirit, is this food good for me? And you might get a yes. And then if you get more specific, is this food nourishing for me? Will it enhance my energy? Am I allergic to anything in this food? Was it prepared with love? You can get kind of creative with that. Okay, so let's move on to another way that we can ask questions. So we just went over some general ways of asking questions, being very specific, putting in a time element, and also putting in the phrase for my highest and my greatest good. So that's asking questions, and then you can also shift it around into a statement. Now, another fun thing that you can do with your pendulum is use the chart of 10. You would put your pendulum right here in the middle is where you would put your pendulum. And if the pendulum went to 0, it would go this way. So it would, let's see if I can show you. It would be here, and then if it went this way, that's 100%, you know, and then you get the idea, 50%. So if we're using this with 0 being 0% and 10 being 100%, so that's how you can use this scale, and it would be flat. And then you would have your pendulum in the middle, you know, and you could say with, you know, with 10 being 100%, what is the probability that I'll pass the test I'm taking tomorrow? And say you get a 20% or really low. Then you can ask another question, what is the probability of me passing the test next week if I study for an extra hour every day? You know, then you might get 100% or an 80% of probability. So you can use the 0 to 10 with probability. You can use it with 0 to 10. You know, where's my hydration with and again, you want to be clear. You want to clarify what your scale is. So with 0 being low or not optimal and 10 being optimal, where on the scale is my hydration, right? And we want to be optimal, right? Depending on how you set your scale. But you ask that with your question so that you get a clear answer. You can ask about your stress level. With 0 being ideal, where's my stress level today? And then maybe you get a high number. Then you can get into more specific questions and say, is it my environment that's stressful? Is it people I'm around? Is it something I ate? Is too much caffeine? Not enough water? Is my work environment or the people in my environment depleting me or energizing me? So you can get very, very creative about using this and asking questions, and then getting some help, getting some answers. So maybe you need hydration. Okay, you've got hydration. Maybe there's a person in your environment that's depleting you. You can ask some other questions, you know, like how can you deal with something that's depleting you? You know, would it be good for me to take a walk, to move my desk somewhere else if that's possible? You know, maybe you need to meditate to get yourself in a better state of mind before you go to work. So this is a great chart, and you can make these charts your own. Like, it doesn't have to be 0 and 10. You could put different, you could even have more lines in here, and you could put different things. Like, say you're dealing with someone or something in your life that's causing you stress. So you could put things that might be a de-stressor in your life. Like I said, taking a walk, meditating, making sure you're hydrated, moving your desk, finding a new job. I mean, you could put that in here. But you can use this chart of probability, and you can make it your own. Let me see. Oh, and then the other fun thing about this chart, I think I'm going to stop there, is you can take, if you don't have paper, you don't have a chart available, you can use your hand as the scale is 0 to 10. So like your thumb could be 0 and your pinky could be 10. And then you would put the pendulum, you know, somewhere in the middle. Like you can use the other side of your hand too, so that, you know, the pendulum would be here. Let's say this is 0, this is 10. You get the idea. So if you don't have the paper, you can use your hand too for the 0 to 10 to ask questions. So I hope this is helpful for you, just giving you some ideas of how to use your pendulum, how to ask some questions. And again, the biggest key is to ask clearly, put a time frame in there. If you're using a chart, clarify what 0 is, what 10 is, or what your specific points are, like what is optimal and what is not optimal. So play around with it, use your own creativity, and have fun, because the pendulum can really be quite helpful. There's more that we can do with the pendulum, but this is about asking questions. If you have any comments or any requests, feel free to reach out, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Thank you.